Well, the time of departure for me is coming closer. So this is a chance to talk about my experiences here at the Abbey. And I want to start with what we did early in the morning and late in the evening, the practice of greeting each other. And I liked that a lot. And I found also that it developed over time. And it was very different with different people. And I remember still the first morning that I was standing there and I wanted to greet people and I was looking and everyone was going like this. And I was wondering, how can I go into the picture? I did not really manage to greet someone. But with some people, it worked very well then. I found we could really establish a clear contact, and over time, this increased. I got more and more people where I had the feeling, okay, we have a very, very clear contact. It is clear we are greeting each other, we are looking at each other. And sometimes it was not so clear. Is it for me or is it for someone else? So it was always a little bit different. But I really had the feeling that with time, more and more people could establish a clear contact between each other, and of course, in my case, especially with me. And also, I found sometimes when I looked at people, people realize it, and sometimes people do not realize. So it was really very different. And I think it is also an experience which helps to clear away little obstacles. Like if something has happened during the day and then in the evening you can greet that person again, or in the morning. I think this is really a very beautiful and helpful practice, and I enjoyed that a lot. What I also liked a lot is that during the times when we were offering service, we were working together with different people. And we were seeing people always in different situations and from different angles. And I also found this very helpful in establishing communication and connections between all the people in the community. I think that was a very, very helpful practice. And what I want to reflect on a little bit more deeply um, is a balance between intrinsic motivation and extrinsic motivation. And in order to do this, I have to talk a tiny little bit about the Tara Rokpa process in which I had participated. It is not known, I think, in the United States, but it's very popular in England and in Germany. And it was initiated by Akong Rinpoche together with Western psychologists and Western psychotherapists. And Akong Rinpoche was, unfortunately, he's not alive any longer. He was a Yogacara Svatantika, meaning he is placing a lot of importance on the Buddha nature. So the whole process was assigned or designed with a lot of relaxation and trying to make a very agreeable atmosphere. And it was more like clearing away obstacles and to hold a space so that within that space, a genuine experience could emerge. And I found this was extremely helpful, and I had liked it a lot. Also, what I had found sometimes is that my ego is very intrinsically motivated. And when I get too relaxed, the ego starts running the show. So sometimes it was getting too much on this relaxed or intrinsic side. Then on the other hand, when I was doing studies, I saw sometimes quite some people who were studying only with their head. And it was not going down into the body. And they were so far away from making any type of experience that I thought it's not really so very helpful. And in that aspect, now when I think about the approach here at the Abbey, I think this is very, very nice. It is really like finding the middle way, being very pragmatic, trying to put it into daily life and really looking for an approach which is not so far away from us, but really gives us a good experience. But if I think about the daily schedule, that was something which for me was a little bit too much on the tough side, and which gave me a lot of opportunity to create patience or to practice patience. But I came really with the intention to practice patience. It's just, I think about that one day when we did the chanting. And it was a day when I went to Newport together with Venerable Jumper to get my booster vaccination. And I said to her, you know, I think the schedule today is really crazy. They have squeezed the medicine meal to 45 minutes, and I don't have time to brush my teeth, and I don't have time to prepare my bed, and I don't have time to prepare my clothes for tomorrow. And then they have moved the teachings backward, so it will be very late and I will not be able to get enough sleep. And in between they have squeezed the chanting. That is really crazy. and Venerable Champa said to me, yeah, but you know, our time is precious and we try to make as much as possible with our time. And I said, yeah, but I still think, I mean, also in the experience of the Tararokpa process that I have made, that sometimes it's really more efficient if we do a little bit less and if we do it very wholehearted. So really, that was an opportunity for me to practice patience. But then again, I'm thinking maybe I also gave the community some chances to practice patience, because sometimes I forgot to take off my hat, or I forgot my Zen when going for lunch, or I keep complaining about having to put out my arm, which is really horrible for me. So maybe we all together had to practice some patience. And there is one thing that I want to tell, that especially Venerable Tsepal. I think one time I was falling asleep so deeply, and I did not go to the offering service at 2:45. I was sleeping extremely deeply. And apparently she told me she had been trying to wake me, but she was not, it did not work. I did not wake up, even though she was shaking me. But I had a dream. And I had been dreaming about a dog, and the dog was coming and it wanted to play with me. And the dog grabbed me by the arm. And the dog insisted, come. No, I don't want to play with you. And I think it must have been the time when the Venerable has been trying to wake me up. So it did not work. There is one thing that I would like to talk about, and that is the mantra, the chanting of the Amitofu. And I have told the story to Venerable Damsho when we were cooking. And I had been in Wutai Shan in the Bayonsi monastery, and we did a lot of chanting. And they had a very big hall. And the way they did it is that they synchronized the chanting with their walking. So it was like a, mi, to, fu, a, mi, to, fu. And if everyone is doing it the right way, this creates really a beautiful atmosphere. It is like the whole line of people walking, they start to sway like a wave. And one has the feeling of becoming part of the wave. And it really can feel like the own identity is kind of dissolving into the wave and becoming part of this bigger entity. And I think if it is done like this, it is really a beautiful practice. And it's a very deep practice. It is not just chanting. I mean, chanting also is nice, but one might think it's a little bit superficial. But if you do it like this, I think it's really becoming a very, very beautiful practice. And I think maybe if you have the Buddha hall and there is more space, because here the hall is too short, and especially if one goes around in waves, this destroys the atmosphere. So in the Buddha hall, if there's a long way to go, maybe it could be tried once. And I think it could give a good experience. One more thing, sometimes people tell me, or when people ask me, what is your strongest side? I can say it is my facial expression. And when people ask me, what is your weakest side? I can say it is my facial expression. And Venerable Sepal told to me, it is so beautiful. When we tell you to do something that you like, your face lights up like a flower. And if we tell you to do something, she did not say this. If we tell you to do something that you don't like, we also can see it on your face. And I think she was so kind to most of the time gave me the opportunity to make a very big smiling face. So yeah, thank you to all the community. I think in most cases I had the capability, also possibility to make a smiling face.